All right. Call the meeting to order. Roll call, everybody's here except for Heidi and Bruce.
And they both have commitments tonight.
Additions to the agenda, we have number 14, 15, 16, and 17 under consent agenda. Any other additions?
Nope, those are the only additions.
I'll close adopting the agenda.
I'll move to adopt.
Second?
So I got a motion from Cheryl and a second from Rick. Any other further discussions? Hearing none, all in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, and carried. Approve and correct the minutes from the August 8th, 2017 regular meeting and the August 16th special board meeting. They're in your packets.
Make the motion, we approve it.
I got a motion from Randy,
Second.
second from Lou. Any other further discussions? Hearing none, all in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, and carried. Financial reports, the July 2017 Treasury Report is in your packet. Bob, anything on the
No, not
Treasury
at this
report?
time, still pretty early.
I'll make a motion to adopt the Treasurer's Report.
Second.
I got a motion from Mark and a second from Randy. Any other further discussions? Hearing none, all in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, and carried. Adopt and approve the bills for the August, or the additional July 2017 bills and the August of 2017 bills. Cheryl, I'm sure you had the privilege.
Yes, I did. I had a chance to go in and look over the bills. It was pretty much, well, it was pretty easy. Not a lot going on right now except the ongoing improvements, being those, our Chromebooks and software, payments on those. Pretty much just normal business. I didn't see anything that really jumped out. The only thing that really jumped out was we had no student accounts payable. A big zero right there. That will change.
It's coming. It's coming.
I would move that we approve the bills.
Okay, got a motion from Cheryl,
Second.
second from Rick. Any other further discussions? Hearing none, all in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, and carried. Consent agenda. So there's 17 items underneath the consent agenda. The first one is review and consider approval of 6 class assignments for the 2017-18 school year. Todd Spanier, Don Knoll, Phil Carlson, Dave Wilkie, and Michelle Anderson are underneath them.
Michelle is a
And
point
Michelle
five.
is a .5. Okay.
And I just, as you go through them, I'll just make a couple comments. These were the ones that were in place last year. We're going to continue those. Michelle is an additional one that's kind of caused by Ms. Rant's retirement.
Okay. Second one is review and consider approval of the following van drivers assignments. We have Percy Laubach, which is 4 hours per day, and then Brenda Kokowski, which is 2 hours per day. Number 3 is review and consider approval of hiring Maggie Gilmore as a pause site assistant for 7 hours per day during the school year, effective August 28th. Number 4, review and consider approval of a child care leave for Marie Rasmussen, effective August 28th of 2017 through November 3rd of 2017. Number 5, review and consider approval of increase Helen Storkamp food service hours from 3.5 to 3.75 hours per day effective August 31st. Review and consider approval of an increase to Lynn Bierman food service hours 3.5 to 3.75 per day. Review and
Just a quick comment on that. Those were temporary hours last year. We're just making them permanent.
okay.
So,
Number 7, review and consider approval of hiring Jacqueline Gruber, PAWS Program Assistant, up to an average of 7.5 hours per week effective August 31st of 2017 through June 1st of 2018. Number 8, review and consider approval to hire Sue Teicher, PAWS Program Assistant, up to an average of 6 hours per week effective August 31st through June 1st of 2018. Number 9, review and consider approval to hire Wanda Hazy, PAWS Program Assistant, up to an average of 6 hours per week effective August 31st of 2017 through June 1st of 2018. Number 10, review and consider approval to hire Jeannie Hogg, PAWS Program Assistant, up to an average of 6 hours per week effective August 31st through June 1st of 2018. Number 11, review and consider approval to hire Diane Gilk, PAWS Program Assistant, up to an average of 6 hours per week effective August 31st, 2017 through June 1st of 2018. Review and consider approval to hire Jen Welly, paraprofessional, 6.5 hours per day effective September 5th, 2017.
And the para positions are just to replace ones that had left, so.
Okay. Number 13, review and consider approval to hire Tesha Christensen, custodian, 8 hours per day, effective August 24th of 2017. And then the additions, to review and consider increase in hours of Debbie Buttafusco, food service worker, from 4.5 hours per day to 5 hours per day, effective August 31st. Of 2017. Number 15, review and consider increase in hours to Mary Ann Hemish, food service worker, from 3 hours per day to 3.5 hours per day, effective August 31st. Number 16, review and consider approval to accept the following donation. Cenex, Paul Evans, donating fertilizer and applications for the Paynesville Area High School football field. And then also review and consider approval to hire Holly Kern, paraprofessional, 6.25 hours per day, effective September 5th, 2017. So those are your consents, and we'll make one motion for all of them.
I move.
Got a motion from Rick,
Second.
second from Lou. Any other further discussions? Hearing none, all in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, and carried. And move on to business. So anybody in the audience has any questions or comments regarding any of the business items, feel free to raise your hand and we will call upon you. So number 1 is review and consider approval of contracting the mental health counselors service with True Balance for a maximum budget of $15,150 for the 2017-18 school year.
Just a reminder to the board that part of this is paid through the Stearns County Collaborative that we have, and part of it's paid through our regular budget. The budgeted item is the same as we had last year.
Is it the same counselors?
Yes, one of our counselors is still doing some schoolwork, so they're working between a couple counselors now instead of one. But we've been extremely happy with True Balance, and I would certainly recommend to the board that we continue that.
So moved.
I got a motion from Rick,
Second.
second from Cheryl. Any other further discussions? Hearing none, all in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, and carried. Number 2, review and consider approval of the middle school, high school faculty handbook for the 2017-18 school year. Yeah, why don't you come down here, Lori, so you can kind of go through that with us?
Okay, I'll just I believe you had a color copy sent to you that had the changes in it. If you look at the first change, which was on page 3, the 6th grade lunch period schedule, there was just that part wasn't posted before because they have a little different schedule than the other groups, so we just decided to put that in there. So, going to page 4, you'll see the part, we did add in, because it is classroom expectations, rules, etc., that we do want those posted. And then we've been working on Marzano's I can statements for the last 2 years. It is expected that those are continuing, and they should be now incorporated into all classes and units at this point, so I wanted to make sure the staff knew that was an expectation. Number 3, now that we do have the Chromebooks, staff are expected to give syllabuses to all kids during the first week. This is a way that they can give it if they choose electronically versus a paper copy, so students can keep it in their own Google Doc. On page 5, since we've adopted QComp, part of our staff development is PLCs. Myself, Kelly Whaler, Don Knoll from this building went to a program that's called Effective PLCs. And there are some expectations that are part of that, and we are going to do in part of our training at the beginning of the school year what those look like. So I wanted to make sure that all staff are aware of their expectations with those PLCs, to kind of heighten that expectation. So we did add that. Also, I will be with this, there will be a sheet that all staff, number 13 implies staff has always been responsible for knowing the bullying policy, knowing the attendance, the discipline, the harassment, etc. That those are in a staff folder that we've now shared with all staff, that they're responsible to read those, and they will be turning in a sheet saying that they know they are responsible for upholding and have read them at the beginning of this year. So to kind of give them, kind of a reminder, and so that it always helps to make sure that you go through things. So that is there as well. 14, again, this is part of QComp, is that they do need to submit their growth plan and abide by the different dates that are part of that QComp, which we will be having a meeting about during the first workshop days. So that's the additional parts to that checklist there. Any questions on any of those? Okay. Then you can, on page 11, there's lots of different things going on in our building. We have teachers that are coaching, we have teachers that are having meetings, etc. Another part of our teacher folder, electronic folder that I've started this year, is there's going to be a spreadsheet that if a teacher is not in their assigned location, basically their classroom, between that 3:15 and 3:45 time, that they will be asked to put a notation in. If they're coaching, they can put that across for the whole coaching year. If they're at a meeting in the other building, so they're not in our building, so that it's easier for them to log where they are at, but then also for me to keep everybody accountable for that contractual time. Okay? So that is that part. And then just reiterating the importance of being out in the hallway between classes and before and after school. And that kind of goes on into that number 12 part, or page 12. On 18, for purchases, this kind of came out of our audit. What I found a lot of times, I was tracking down students to sign the student audit or activity account form, that I'm putting that on the coaches and advisors, that they, during their meetings or whatnot, if they're purchasing something, that they have to have those students sign it, so I'm not calling them out of class often.
How do you go about doing that? Do you just grab a student and have them sign it, or do you have?
No, all the advisors have to submit 2 or 3 basically they're leaders. So
Mhm.
if they have presidents or if they have team captains,
Okay.
you know, we have a spreadsheet and those are listed. So if a form comes in, and say the coach hasn't done it,
Mhm.
I will go to that list and say, you know, did you guys have a meeting? Okay, yeah, did you talk about this? Okay, then are you good with signing that or whatnot? If they haven't actually talked about it or had a meeting, then I send it back to the coach and say, you need to discuss this with your group. Okay? Let's see. Then I think the last ones are, this one isn't in red, but on page 23, we did start usually, or in the past, bus supervision and cafeteria supervision started at 7:55. I think we will be moving that to 7:50 because we do have an abundance of students here already by that time, having breakfast, you know, having different meetings in the building, that we do have the traffic to justify to start those supervision duties a little bit earlier. So it is 7:50 instead of 7:55. And one interesting one is if you turn to page 25, with some discussions on improving communication from teachers to students, teachers to myself, in regards to discipline and detention situations. I was going to create a spreadsheet and then have that available, and we're keeping track, and we had that last year where we started it, worked pretty well. I was going to make some changes, but what I have found is JMC, our student data system, has actually jumped a step. We're going to have a tutorial during our staff meeting, is teachers will be able to fill out a detention or a discipline notice in JMC off of their teacher site, and that will flag my site. So then I will be able to know, you know, what they did, put them in the detention, but also have had that direct communication with the teacher. I can respond back or whatnot if I need to see the student, but it's an actual communication. And then it also allows for teachers to be able to see if that student has had trouble all day, you know, from one teacher to another. So it is a new program that JMC came up with. So I'm curious to see how it works on a building-wide, and it was one of our goals this year is to work on communicating between students and staff in regards to behavior and things going on. So I'm curious to see how it will work. So I am changing that detention spreadsheet, this isn't in your packet, to JMC program. That would be the one add-on to this that I would like to do. So if you have any other questions, those are the changes from last year to this year.
So basically on page 15, you're just going to re-edit that.
Re-edit that little red phrase instead
Okay.
of spreadsheet, JMC program.
Okay.
So if you do pass it with that addition or edit.
The bus supervision duty, the PM is 3:15 to 3:20, 5 minutes?
Kids, I mean, the buses are here, they load and they're out of here, and kids are to their activities. I mean, truly, after school.
So that's not a typo?
No, that's not a typo. It's
Okay.
about 5 minutes and kids are where they are going to be. You know, if
Okay.
they're in a teacher's room, they're there. So yeah, it isn't a typo. It just isn't very long. They shuffle and get going. Coaches want them down in the locker room changing, and
It just
But
made
I'm-
me smile when I read it.
Yeah, I'm also assuming though if something happens.
if something, yeah,
and
they're
it goes
there
longer,
and
the
they.
teachers
Yes,
Someone
are-
there.
yes.
are professional and they would stay there
Yes,
and make
they
sure that
do.
it's taken care of.
Yep, they do. They don't just drop, run, and go, no. But in a normal day, things disperse pretty quickly.
Any questions for Lori?
Make a motion to approve the middle school, high school faculty handbook.
With the changes on page 25?
Mhm.
Okay, got a motion from Lou,
Second.
second from Randy. Any other further discussions? Hearing none, all in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, and carried. Number 3, review and consider approval of the 2017-18 Student Parent Extracurricular Activity Handbook, which is in your packet.
Max had presented all the changes to the board at the last meeting. I also asked the board if there were any questions, to get a hold of Max. So I'm assuming that took place, so unless there are any other questions that you have.
I move adoption.
I got a motion from Rick,
Second.
second from Lou. Any other further discussions? Hearing none, all in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, and carried. Number 3, review and consider approval of the 2017 review and consider approval of the food service 2017 through the 2019 master agreement.
Correct. You guys have had the master agreement now. Most of the changes for the food service are years as far as language. There really isn't any language changes for this. You're going to hear me say the same thing on all the contracts that we have, is that we have gotten considerably behind in those groups. And these contracts do move us very much closer to where they should be as far as salary in comparison to other school districts. There were no changes for benefits or anything else in the food service. It really just came down to salary. There was one change, if you look on page 23, group 6, used to be food service clerical. There's not a need for that right now, and we're going to incorporate that into a second cook. As Penny has left now for other grounds, we're going to start distributing some of the things that she did. One of the things that I needed to do was free up some time for our head cook at the high school. And by having a second cook there to replace the clerical piece, then if Lori needs to do some paperwork or do something else that she needs to get done for the district, then the second cook can take over that. And we've moved Katie Welly into the second cook position. It doesn't change her hours at all. She was a head cook or a cook at the secondary building. We will not replace the cook. She will just become a second cook. All right? Any questions on that piece? If not, then it really came down to salary. And for the first year, as I've mentioned, they are making some good gains this year, but we have not given them much in the last 2 contracts that we've had. So for the last 4 years, it really has been pretty stingy. So you're going to hear some high percentages. I stand by these. I think it gets our staff to where they need to be. So in the first year, in 2017-18, it's going to be a 6.82% increase. And for the second year, it'll be a 6.19% increase. And our dilemma is this: we could certainly have continued to do what we were doing. It would not have been good for our workers, and eventually we would have gotten to the point where we would not have been able to hire them. So I'm going to strongly recommend to the board, and I know that we had board members on those committees, so they've certainly heard and seen all the information that I have, so I'm going to recommend to the board that you approve, unless you have some questions concerning this contract.
I make a motion, we approve the contract.
I'll
with
second.
service.
So I got a motion from Lou, a second from Cheryl.
Oh, do have one other change on page 24, farmers and merchants. You don't have that anymore, so it has been changed to perennial bank, both on 23 and 24 down at the bottom.
Okay. All right. All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, and carried. Number 5, review and consider approval of the custodials 2017 through the 2019 master agreement.
The same would be pretty much true with custodial, although there is some language things that we needed to clean up, so I'll go by those. If you go to, get it? Page 5. There's been some changes to the memorandum of understanding for the custodians. In fact, it was eliminated, and we'll get to that at the very end. But we did add this language that custodians are assigned to work on a Saturday custodians are assigned to work on a Saturday for a school district event, shall receive a Saturday duty stipend in the amount of 50 cents per hour for all Saturday hours worked up to 40. We put that in because if they work more than 40, then we have to go to time and a half. All right, so that was one change in language. Then on page, that page is on this one. Well, page 11, I guess would be page 12. It's offset a little bit. Article 8. Down at the bottom, it said, employees must indicate to the district office by September 15th their choice of paid holidays for that year. That's been stricken out. And we just added holidays falling in the employee's work year will be used in succession until the number of days for which the employee is eligible has been paid out. It just takes the tracking for us so that everybody virtually is running on the same thing. So if they get 5 holidays, it starts at the start of the year, and every holiday they just take. All right, so there's no options at this particular point. It's just they take them until they're done. All right? And then we did change in a few places. If you look at vacation on page 13, we got rid of custodians. We scratched it out and put employees because we have both custodians and maintenance. So rather than just put custodial, we wanted to clarify that it is for the employees in this agreement, and that's in a couple places on page 13. Then on page 14, the basic work week, that language was added. The employee's work schedule will be determined by the district. The school district may hire employees whose regular work schedule includes Saturdays. For other employees whose normal schedule does not include Saturdays, the district may adjust an employee's schedule to work a Saturday as part of the regular 40-hour work week, and agrees to distribute these Saturday assignments on an equitable basis. We'll kind of do what we've always done. When we don't have somebody that can work Saturday, we rotate through our custodians. It's what we've always done. We don't want to overburden one person, but at the same time, we have hired an individual that hired them knowing that they were going to work Saturdays. So that gives us the flexibility to do either one.
No, excuse me, you let them decide if one can't make it, they can get a substitute for
There-
them on that particular Saturday.
I think there's a rotation, but I'm assuming if one can't make it, they would talk to somebody else to do it.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
And that's primarily, again, for community ed, they do get paid the time and a half. These are mainly for our district things,
Yep.
our items that we have. Okay, questions on that? Okay, then if you go to the next page, at the very top, custodians changed to employees. Under hours of service, we struck out custodians who volunteer to work Saturday events will be given Wednesdays off. If no custodian volunteers, the district will follow the schedule provided by the buildings grounds. That's covered in the other language now. And then again, at the bottom, we got rid of custodians and added employees. I'm just going to keep going. If you have a question, please stop me. Then we get to page 21. Under retirement, severance, and resignations. Under section 3, we did change some things that are age discriminatory. We struck out retiring at age 55 or older, and we added who apply for early retirement. And then down at the bottom, same type of thing. It says at least 55 years of age, struck out, and added immediately eligible to claim their PERA benefit. And again, that's just language changes needed because of age discriminatory type of language. Okay, on the next page, on page 23, again, custodians to employees. And then we get to Appendix A, which is on 24. And again, really, there were no changes to benefits. It's all about salary. That's where we did the increasing. Our custodians were behind considerably, but our maintenance people were even further behind than that. So the custodians made jumps, and the maintenance people made jumps, and then also under Appendix A, salary schedule continued. Overrides, we did add 10 cents to the specialist degree, and 5 cents to the second class. And then it also, right at the bottom of that, it says, and this is added, in order to receive payment, employees must have superintendent approval prior to acquiring any boiler license. That's so that we have some control over the number of people that do have it, and there may be a staff member who may not really be somebody who can do that very well. Our past contracts, anybody could have gone through that, regardless of whether we needed it or not. So we did add that particular language. Then if you go to the letter of agreement, next page, again, just, we added maintenance, custodial and maintenance to that top line under the introduction. And in the, under purpose, we struck out custodial, we just put down work schedule, because again, it could be maintenance or custodial. And then on the last pages, that whole memorandum of understanding is now gone. Because the district does have the right to determine the work schedule for the employees. If you looked at percentages, for the 2017-18, it is a 7.25% increase. And again, I believe this is appropriate. They are considerably behind. And a 5.56% increase for the second year of the contract. Any questions that the board has on this? I could go through every step, but that'd be time consuming. You've had a chance to look at those.
Motion to approve.
Second.
I got a motion from Lou and a second from Rick. Any other further discussions? Hearing none, all in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, and carried. Number 6, review and consider approval of teacher sharing agreement with Natalie Oich, agricultural instructor with Rocori School for the 2017-18 school year.
I think if I'm not mistaken, Macquarie has already taken this to their board and approved. So this,
I didn't
Didn't
hear
hear?
specifically if they approved it, but they had no questions.
Okay.
So I think they were going tonight as well.
all right. This is what it costs Rocori in order to take part of Natalie's salary. The only real changes that we've had, other than the salary changes, because that's gone up, is that we've also started to charge half of what it charges for the FFA advisory. We had not done that before. I think it's appropriate that they pay for half of it too. Their students participate in the FFA group as much as anybody.
The other thing on it, I guess I would say, for the past 2 or 3 years, they've only done part of the year. This year, they are having her all year. So the amount is a little bit about a full third more
And,
as far
and,
as her salary. But
yeah, and it also saves us because we don't have any kind of blank spots that we need to fill for her being here. It'll be an all-year type of thing. Good point, Lori.
it jumps a little bit.
Yep. Any questions? Otherwise, certainly this has been, worked out well for both Rocori and for Paynesville.
Move to approve.
I got a motion from Cheryl,
Second.
second from Randy. Any other further discussions? Hearing none, all in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, and carried. Just one, bear with me.
You want this paper copy here?
Yeah, I lost that. That's not mine.
That's it.
Oh, is that, why, what does it say though?
Paraprofessional master degree.
Okay,
Approved.
there you go. Let me get it
Got
up
it?
here.
Should we leave
We're
and
doing
come back
fine
or-
on time, so.
We're at ahead schedule.
Not
All
this rate, we won't be.
right. Number 7, review and consider approval of paraprofessionals 2017 through the 2019 master agreement. I found it. At Fat Boy Finger Syndrome.
Truly, other than dates and times, there are no changes to language for the pair contract. You have to go all the way to page 18, where the salary schedule is. And again, another group who has been behind in salary. Last 2 contracts that we've had have been minimal increases. This will get them very close to where they need to be. So for the pairs, it was a 5.28 increase for 17-18, and a 6.37 increase for 18-19. So it's really increases in salaries that they needed. I think for all the groups, these contracts really do get our groups up to where they should be, kind of in the ballpark for our salaries. I think at the next negotiation, certainly I think you'll start to hear a little bit more about benefits and those types of things. But that'll take place starting next year.
You won't be here.
I will not be the one that will be settling those. Or at least recommend to the board.
Make a motion to approve the master agreement.
Second it.
So I got a motion from Lou and a second from Rick. Any other further discussions? Hearing none, all in favor signify by aye.
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 Opposed, same sign, and carried. Informational reports. Administrative report?
Would be me then?
It would be you, just what you be at it.
A few things, just an update on the solar garden. We'll be part of 5 different solar gardens in order to get our energy needs met. They are scheduled to be turned on August 30th. All right, so after that point, we'll start to collect credits for those solar gardens. I have a picture I'll just show you of one of them, what it looks like. It's right behind you. You want to just take a peek? Would you mind just shutting that one light off?
Where's that
Or
located?
grab it? Okay.
Where's that located, Bob?
This is located by St. Joe, by I-94. So if you kind of look, I can't remember if he said south, but as you start to go around the curves, you can see that from the road.
Okay.
You can see that there's just rows of it there. So this is one of the 5 that we're set up with. Okay, you can just leave it off, Lori. That'll be fine. So just be aware of that. Reminder of the gala, that we're the focus for the gala. I'll give you some information, but I thought I would show. Get to it. I thought I had pulled it up. Right here. If you want to either turn around or stay where you're at. I thought I would just show, this is a promo video that we put together. Oh, sure. Are we gonna get side or sound would be the question.
Oh, full 500.
Yeah, it's not. Okay, now I'm gonna have my technology whiz come up here and take care of this.
Don't have any paperwork for you, Bob, but
No.
The sole purpose is to.
Okay,
to
we will
build
start over here.
community.
Can we make that full screen? Yeah, we tried that.
Right there.
Paynesville Area Community Foundation is
So go on a
over
bit.
10 years old. And its really sole purpose is to build the community of Paynesville in this area. Through the course of the last 10 years, we've raised and given away over $150,000 to help build the community of Paynesville. We were very successful last year with our gala. We raised over $300,000, which enables us now to give away money each year. Really pleased to have partnered for the first time with Paynesville Public Schools. And that whole encounter and learning about some of the new innovation happening at the school really has helped us sort of focus the theme of the gala for this next year, for the fall of 2017. The gala will be held on September 23rd. Kind of an exciting place is at Lewis Industries, where we had it last year.
Some of the things that we're looking at doing is expanding our student internship program with local businesses so that they can get real-time job experience. We're also looking at starting robotics teams for our students to participate in and exploring ways that we can enhance our career technical education opportunities for our students.
I think it's important to me because, I mean, the world is changing. Everything is about robotics. We've got drones, people across the world controlling helicopters, airplanes. I mean, bringing robotics and coding here, even if it's not robotics that kids would get into, coding is still a big thing with computers, in technologies like cars, and everywhere in the world.
It's a really fun event. Just, it's, community building, one important part of it is just relationships and having a good time together. And so at first, that's what it is, just have a night out. But it's probably, importantly is how can we raise money to build a stronger public-private partnership between the community and Paynesville Public Schools.
I think it is important for you to come to the gala because that supports us, and not just us as students, but everyone around our community, our nation, our world. If we get the skills to help develop and build other technologies and other systems and phones, cars, robotic arms, which help manufacture different things for everyday use. So it's not just helping us, but to you as well and to everyone around us.
We are excited and honored to partner with the Paynesville Area Community Foundation for the 2017 Gala. We look forward to the possibilities that await our students and staff as we incorporate robotics and career exploration.
Well, we just think this is a really, really rich, ripe opportunity. We don't have it all figured out, but we at the foundation just try to be a catalyst for getting people to work together. But we think this is a topic that warrants a lot of community thought and sort of collaboration in the future.
By either attending or being a sponsor for the gala, you will have a direct impact on helping us achieve these goals.
I am looking forward to the opportunity the gala fundraiser will provide. Come join us as we enjoy a night with friends and community to spark the interest of our students as they explore tomorrow's career opportunities. See you there.
And finally, I'd like to thank the community for their continuing support and hope that you can join us at the gala on September 23rd to create a spark and ignite the possibilities for our students. We hope to see you there.
Pretty good for just off the cuff speaking into the camera like that.
Thanks go out to Matt Dickhausen for helping us put that together. He taped us and cut it and put it all together for us. So we want to give credit there certainly for him. So as a reminder, we are the main focus for the gala. The theme is Create a Spark, Ignite the Possibilities. It will be at Lewis Industries, 5:30 on September 23rd. You can support us by either purchasing tickets, and you can do that right on our website, or becoming a sponsor. So we want to encourage everybody to attend. It will be a great event. We've got a lot of things planned. There are a lot of opportunities for our community to see a number of things that are going on. Any questions on that? Okay. When you get a chance, check out the east wall of the elementary school. It is pretty much done at this point. There are 2 panels that are scratched, I think, that they need to replace. But rather than leave it blank, they decided to put them on and they'll take them off and replace them. You can go ahead and turn those on, Lori, thank you. So take a look at that. I think it looks pretty well. They're pretty good. We have a few negotiations left, so we'll continue to finish those up. Hopefully at the next meeting, we can finish all the negotiations off for the year. That'd be great. We're still trying to find a date that works for everyone for the next facility meeting. We've just run into some glitches, so I'll continue and I'll hopefully try to settle that sometime this week and get that out to the committee members. Teacher workshops start on Monday at 8 o'clock in the auditorium. We also have a volleyball game this week on Thursday. Open house next week on Wednesday from 5 to 7:30. Reminder, special board meeting tomorrow. And that sole topic is just to discuss proposals for hiring a new superintendent. You have 3 groups. I've sent 2 proposals to you over the email. I'll have some of those at the meeting tomorrow, so if any community members want to see them. And then Greg Vondell will also be presenting to the board tomorrow. And then it's just about the discussion on how you want to proceed with that. I think that is it.
Okay. Any other board sharing?
Motion to adjourn.
Really? Okay, we got a motion from Lou and a second from Rick. Any other further discussions? Hearing none, all in favor signify by aye. Opposed, same sign, and carried.
All right.
Good night.